Okay.
Great.
No, I just wanted, I was making sure we're ready to roll. First time flying solo, right? Couldn't get sleep in. No pressure though.
Ready when you are.
You're all good.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for our meeting this evening. I'd like to call the meeting open, 6:31. So, if anyone at home has any questions that you would like to ask, you are always welcome to email clerk@fulton.cnyric.org. Okay, action 102, approve the agenda.
Move it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. In the event of an evacuation, we will need to either exit through the library front doors, go to either the right or the left, exit outside the building and move away as far as possible, or right behind us, door 6, you can move out that way as well. Would you join me for the pledge this evening? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There is nobody signed up for our public forum this evening. So our action 1.06 for the minutes from last meeting, November 14th.
Move it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. For our President's Report this evening, we have a couple of meetings coming up in December and a few in January. Take note to our regular ed meetings and also a couple of health and safety meetings.
Quick question, Brian. Is there going to be any policy meeting in January?
I believe there is. There should be a Gene. We should put that on there. It is in the schedule. We can get that.
And
Thank you. Good catch.
is the strategic coherence, is there going to be one in December, or are we going to?
I believe so. It's December. Can you check that, Gene? I think it's December 18th is the Monday.
Let me see.
December 18th.
That would be serious memory if I can get that right. I believe it's 18, 19, 20, 22. 18 is a Monday.
That makes sense to me. The 12th is our next board meeting.
Yeah, I believe it's December 18th. We had the strategic coherence plan on the screen, so that's how
Yes.
I remember that.
And
Yep.
that'll be here at 4.
Yes, December 18th, here at 4 o'clock for strategic, and then is policy the 20th
Policy
Okay,
is
or January?
17th.
7th.
Of January.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or concerns for any meetings or anything upcoming? I do want to just run one thing by you. First, I'll ask Mr. Albino, you said that we have a change to the agenda. We're just not doing the executive session. Is that already on here?
Yeah, we removed the executive session already.
Okay. So that has been removed.
Yep.
I also want to just bring to your guys' attention, since we don't have a full board here this evening, I want to open this up to my colleagues. We were going to talk again about the logo and mascot updates and move that forward in a resolution. But my question to you is, should we wait for a full board, or do you guys want to move ahead this evening?
Just say move ahead.
I would say move ahead. I don't think anyone has any issues that I can talk about.
It's just a question to ask you guys, because it's a pretty big deal, so, okay. So, Mr. Palmiano, we'll go ahead and move forward.
Sounds good. We'll get that up for our committee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for asking that.
Yeah, no problem. All right, well, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Palmiano for the superintendent's report.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being in attendance this evening. I want to just welcome Santina Cunningham, who is our new junior board member in waiting. She'll be watching and learning from Harper, and we've introduced her to Jean Perry, our clerk. And we look forward to your insights and working with you and bringing the insights and sharing what's going on with our kids and what do we need to do better and what do we need to work on. Okay?
Very excited.
Welcome aboard. Thank you. So the first item we have this evening goes well with just post-Thanksgiving and recognizing blessings in a backpack this evening. Thank you for being here this evening. And the difference that you make for our kids is just so amazing. I happen to be in the buildings on Fridays sometimes, and I see the kids reaping the benefits and having the opportunity to have things for over the weekend as far as food and nourishment. So thank you. So thank you for being here this evening.
We have some show and tell.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Do we have something for you?
First of all, we brought 2 samples of the bags that go out on Fridays. And we have very many, but this is what they kind of look like. Okay. And Mr. Connors, I apologize, I don't have accessible things for you, but we also have our newsletter. But we have, one of our new things this year is we're able to get whole grain, low sugar Apple Jacks and Frosted Flakes. And by buying them through Blessings in a Backpack and Cisco, saving $20 a case, which is quite a bit than what we were paying last year. But like one week, one of our favorites, mac and cheese, pudding is always a big seller. They get a bowl of cereal and 2 cereal bars each week. And then this would be an additional protein item, and the granola bar here, 2 snacks. So they get a minimum of 6 different things. Another week they could get Chef Boyardee and peanut butter or peanut butter here is the 2 protein, applesauce and granola bar, and then Frosted Flakes and 2 cereal bars. Now, last week for Thanksgiving, we sent home actually 14 items in a bag. It was a heavy pack, but we always send home extras over vacations. We tend to send home at least 1 or 2 extra protein items and at least 2 extra breakfast items with some snacks. Okay? I do have, I don't know, if you want to test that on. Do you want to watch this little video that explains it?
Absolutely.
You can speed it up a little bit if you want to. And I don't have to tell you about, the problems in all Oswego County districts with childhood hunger, homelessness, and it's something, the kids have nothing to do with it. This is a typical order we give to Save-A-Lot. Every 2 weeks we get 130 boxes of fruit and grain cereal bars and stuff like that. They load it all up, they order it, they load it all up, and they load it into our cars. From there, we bring it over to the host area, which is Prince of Peace Church at the corner of 176 and Gillespie Road in Volney. We put it into our storage cabinets. And we have 5 of these metal cabinets that we keep filled. And then on Friday mornings at 9 o'clock, we move the week's food out of the storage cabinets in across the hall. We have some volunteers from the community who unbox everything. We call them our unboxing queens. They are very efficient. They get things all set up, and the foods are then ready for packing. The packers will usually come in on a Saturday, sometimes a Sunday afternoon, but the food is all packed. They go round and round the table. This actually happens to be a group from the Elks and a group from the Fulton Alliance Church. We have community groups, and on the right, there's the group from the Lions Club, Fulton Lions Club, that come and pack. And then we put them into totes, and these are the totes we used last year. We're using different ones this year, but on Tuesday mornings, Golden Sun sends 2 buses to Prince of Peace Church, where they load the bags for the East Side schools and the West Side schools, and they bring it over to the teachers. So in case the teachers see, it doesn't look like good weather on Friday, they can decide the food is there in school and they can give it out whenever they deem, okay? We have support from the community. There's the 4 teachers from last December at Save-A-Lot with Jim Morbido, the owner of Save-A-Lot, and Pat Kinane and his wife from Golden Sun. Here's the parade float that we had last year, and people who manned our float. We're trying to be more visible in the community, and I think it's really helping. This was a special thing I'd like to talk to you about. Something that happened last summer very unexpectedly at Lanigan School. But here we have, for this school year, we're going to send home almost 10,000 bags to children, each 260 bags each week for the 38 school weeks. And then if you have a chance to read this, this was one of your homeschool liaison teachers wrote this at the end of last year about how important it was for the kids to receive these bags. And some of the things that the kids have written to us. Dear Blessings, it means a lot. Thanks for the blessings. It helps a lot. Keep up the good work. That was one of the students from Fairgrave this fall, you know. We budget approximately $125 a year. So that means we have to raise $33,000 each year. And all donated money we use for food. When we have to buy other things or get things printed or postage or tote bags, we use special grants for that, small grants, okay? So that's how we roll. We are in our 11th year, and it doesn't seem possible, but it's been 11 years, and we thank the Fulton School District because there are school districts that do not allow Blessings to operate, you know, programs like that for whatever reason. So, well, we thank you for your working with us, and you're allowing us to do this for your kids. What we can do is we try to increase a little bit each year. Lisa is our liaison teacher from Volney, and you know, when we said this year, would you each like 5 more bags? And they said, yes, yes, yes. But it sounds funny, but going from 240 to 260 sometimes causes logistics, because 240 is divisible by 12, 10, 6, you know, the box numbers that you came in, that we get our food in, and you get to 260, and all of a sudden you got a half a case of this and a third of this, and you need 2 extra boxes of this. So it's kept us jumping this year, but we really enjoyed doing it. Questions that you might have?
We really appreciate everything you do for our students here.
Thank you.
I know I've heard some great stories in the past about this, and I have seen some families who have benefited from this, and the kids really are appreciative of what you guys are offering. And I can't thank you guys enough. I do have a quick question. I know that we do our elementary schools, but some of their siblings might be in junior high or high school. Do we touch on the students there? Do we bring anything to them, or?
No.
No.
We did when the 6th grade was in the junior high. That pandemic year, when you know things were a little bit different, some of I think we ended up with some bags that, you know, well, everything was different that year, yeah, if I can say that.
Definitely.
Blessings actually focuses more on, it's a national organization out of Louisville, Kentucky, okay? We're like chapter 1764, all right? They focus on elementary kids with the idea that elementary kids are the least able to fend for themselves. They're thinking that, you know, a high schooler can get food somehow, or even a middle school or whatever, but a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old, that's why our foods are supposed to be. We're not supposed to give anything that needs a can opener, because they might not have to be able to do that. We actually, the macaroni and cheese, it's not supposed to be stuff that has to be cooked, but you know, everybody knows how to use a microwave, so we go with that. It's got to be easy to open, child-friendly, and Craig, who spent 40 years at SUNY Oswego, my husband, and the dining services, has access to a registered dietitian, and he actually is able to have this dietitian check the stuff, and she'll say, well, you know, the ramen soup is not the best, but you only give it once a month and it's a favorite. Okay, so, you know, we do try to aim for the middle. I wish we could do more. We're kind of limited by, I want to say very frankly, $33,000 every year is a big hill that we have to climb. We do it by bits and fits. I've become a very, I don't want to say accomplished, but I don't panic anymore when I have to write a grant. You know, we've gotten grants from the CNY Foundation, from Dunsmore Memorial Foundation, from the Shinneman Foundation, and we just got one this fall from Doc Foods in Liverpool, their family foundation. So we go for foundations. We're very generously supported by service clubs in Fulton, churches in Fulton, groups in Fulton, people who play trivia at the Polish Club donate their winnings. The Women's Club, people in all sorts of, they're beginning to, they know blessings now, and they'll say, you know, instead of spending that money here, let's give it to blessings. Block builders this summer, we got money from. The thing that we did this summer, because that was the big thing, people say, well, what happens in the summer? And we say, you know, that hurts us to even say this, but we are centered in schools, and that's how the food gets to the kids, through the schools. So without the schools, how do you get the food to the kids? And we say, well, OCO has feeding programs, or Fulton last year had, you know, programs in the elementary schools that had, okay. We got a call from psychologist at Lanigan saying he had a special ed summer program, and the kids, you know, were ones that had received bags during the year, and is there any possibility he could get about 20 bags a week for the next couple weeks? And I said to him, well, we emptied out all our cupboards, you know, we had no food on hand. I said, let me see, and as it would have, we got a donation that week that we totally did not expect. We took it to Save-A-Lot. We said to Whitney, can you get us this, and this by Friday? And she said, sure. And we were able to, I said to the teacher, can we send you all the bags at once? Because we can't do this weekly type of thing. And we packed 100 bags for the 20 kids for the remainder 5 weeks and dropped them off at Lanigan, and the person that dropped them off said the kids recognized them and were so happy and helped carry them in and everything. And we say to people, this is a community thing, but I think most of the kids think the school gives them this food, and that's good too, because anything to foster goodwill from the school system is a positive thing, you know. The school gives us food for, you know, whatever. One other thing that people do ask, if there's a couple kids in a family, they will all get bags, right, Lisa? Yeah. So if there's a family that is in need and there's 3 kids in the school, each kid would get a bag. So.
I think I asked you this question last year, but I'm gonna throw it out again, especially if there's any community members out there. I know that you're not affiliated with Oswego, but you know that you probably have heard that Oswego does a blessing in the backpack. They do like a race in December. I think I brought this up to your attention last year. And they raise money that goes towards blessing. I don't remember which gym does it.
I don't, we're not
Right.
We're independent of the Oswego Blessings chapter, but we know them, we work with them. Actually, we're from the Oswego School District, so, okay. They do a trivia night in November that's a major fundraiser. And I don't know what they might do in their schools.
Yeah, there was something in December, because there was one year I was going to run it, but I'm not the most gracious person on 2 feet, so winter running is not always a good thing. But I was wondering if, you know, and maybe some of our sports friends might know how we can help get something going where we can do some kind of a fundraiser, like a little race, or use whatever they.
We would welcome
something.
any kind
Do you
of.
guys have any friends who might be willing, you know?
Any kind of support that comes from within the schools, or clubs, or organizations, parent-teacher organization. You know, if the the teachers at Lanigan decide that instead of giving, a Christmas party for themselves, they want to give it to Pleasant, it's perfect. We'll accept, you'd be surprised, $100 goes a long way. And the more we get, the more we can give. And we're doing that this year by we try to improve the quality of the food. I will tell you frankly that when we started 11 years ago, we gave a packet of oatmeal and a Pop-Tart as the 2 breakfast foods. And,
Gummy bears, the snack.
And gummy bears was the snack.
And a fruit.
And
Juice.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's all fruit, but it's really all sugar.
Type of thing. So we try to improve, and frankly, I'll say, if it's not something I would give to my kids or my grandkids, I'm not gonna give it to any kid, type of thing. So we would welcome, and we gave you information there with both our Facebook page, and I can give you our personal number. If people wanna contact us, please, any help is really welcome. So, thank you.
Well, thank you. Anything else? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Truly impact our kids, thank you so much.
Well, I say to people, the kids didn't put themselves in this situation. They're not to blame. It's things that happen around them. And just like the Snickers commercial, you're not you when you're hungry. We've all sat through a meeting where our stomachs are growling and we're saying, when is this over? When is this over? So it's the same thing for kids in school. And I want to thank Lisa, one of your homeschool liaison teachers, and the other 3 in your elementary schools. They're wonderful. They pass out these things. They give us feedback. They did a survey for us last spring where we found out, I didn't think they liked that, but they do like that or they don't like that, So we get good feedback on what foods are going in the kids.
I think it's the greatest survey, I gotta tell you quickly, 8.5 by 11 paper. Susan has all the items, the macaroni and cheese, all in color, pictures, and all the area. And all the kids have to do is circle
What they
0,
like.
yes, I like it, or exit and say, get rid of it.
There you go.
And it's very effective and very simple. It's a great tool.
Thank
Works
you.
well.
Drive safe this evening.
Thank you, we will.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is just the logo mascot. It's up on the screen, kind of. A little bit. We're going to have the 4 students. We'll have Caden, Summer, Colin, and Robert at the next meeting. To be acknowledged, I'd like to give them certificates and acknowledge, the work and the efforts that they put in. They were all part of those finalist groups. You have the resolution this evening, and then starting tomorrow and moving forward, we will be doing the PR campaign and all those components over the next forever. We're going to keep going. So, with that, that's all I wanted to say and show that. Review and discuss the budget timeline. Dr. Lisi, would you like to talk about that?
Sure.
Or I can?
Sure. Hard to believe it's budget season again, but here we are. So we shared with you the draft budget calendar. This is kind of our idea of how this might progress. Just a couple things I wanted to point out to you and offer this up for potential conversation. On January 16th, January 16th, February 6th, and March 5th, we've held those dates for tentative budget workshops. So if that's something that you'd want to hold, we can go ahead and do that.
And those are off weeks from board meetings.
Right, and obviously at every other board meeting from this point forward, there's some discussion and opportunity to present various concepts related to the budget. So with that, Mr. Balbino, if you have any other comments?
No, we're looking forward right now. The latest we heard was about $4.5 billion at the state level in arrears, as opposed to $8 to $9 billion. So that's better news than we've had. We're also hearing numbers like 3%, which I hope they don't do a one-size-fits-all type of thing. That's not what that formula was designed for, but more to follow. So we should hear by January the 21st by statute. We have to hear from the governor with respect to that first budget, first executive budget, and that's when we'll start looking at the numbers. I think the meeting between now and in the middle of January is we're going to be continuing to work on the strategic coherence plan. And I know that we'll have some of those key points by then should be kind of those should probably drive be considered for the board as those budget parameters, that we consider those and have those as a driving force. So, more to follow. Any questions with respect to the budget calendar? And again, it's a living document, so if we have to adjust, we always can. And finally, the monthly operations and finance report, Dr. Lacey?
Sure. So just really quickly here, as of October, end of October, our actual revenue is about 28.7 million. That's 34% of our budget, and our expenditures are about 18.5 million, representing 22% of our budget, in line with last year. And just as an overview of the cash flow, projected cash flow and our current cash flow are in line with what we expected.
It's very consistent with last year.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Any questions with respect to the monthly operations and finance report? Very good.
Pleasure.
And that's the conclusion of the superintendent's report. It seems sweet and simple tonight, I guess.
All right. So we're going to move on to our finance section, action 4.01, to accept our financials.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. New business, action 5.01, to approve committee on special education.
Move it.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. Action 5.02 is to approve our new mascot logo.
Move it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. And action 5.03, we're going to approve change to the 2024-2025 instructional calendar.
And that's to add the new lunar,
April 8th,
or not,
correct?
April 8th is for
Eclipse.
the eclipse, the solar eclipse. We're doing an early release that day, just a reminder from my last meeting. Move it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. All right, we have a first reading of policies for 6.01. There's quite a few policies on there. Is there any discussion at this point? Okay, we will look at those and then we will move them at our next board meeting. For our personnel, would you be willing to batch 7.01 to 7.10?
Move it.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. We will start our board forum this evening with
Well, first I want to welcome Santina. I'm super happy that she's able to be on here. I'm really excited for her next year. She's great. So I also want to say thank you for Blessings in a Backpack, for everything that they do for our students here. I'm also happy to see how they've grown as an organization and how much you've seen them develop throughout the years with our school, and I think that's just great. I'm also really excited to have a mascot for our school. It did take a while, and I feel like that's what made this all so much better, because I think we're one of few schools who were so inclusive with the community and the students. We were so heavily focused on getting real voices in there to really truly create a mascot that I think a lot of people are going to hopefully be happy with.
Have you heard any feedback from your fellow students on
I have.
design?
I have. There's been definitely some people who, the first one was very popular in high school. From the people that I've heard, they loved the one where the dragon was looking over the F. That one I saw was really popular. But I've heard that this one was also they really like this one too. So it really just depends on who you're talking to. And I feel as you go upperclassmen, they're more holding on to the Raiders and that kind of thing. Just personal opinion, as I've seen through some of the seniors. But I think it's a great mascot, and I really like it.
Great.
And that'll be all for me.
All right. Mr. Connor.
Put me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Again, I'd like to reiterate thanking Blessings in a Backpack. I think it's one thing to be doing it, it's another thing for us to see, hear about the experiences. My favorite is hearing about the kids that write and how appreciative they are, especially, having just gone through Thanksgiving, what we're thankful for in our lives. And I think it's a reminder that, there are students in our community facing a lot of different obstacles and barriers, and that we can be a part of kind of eliminating some of those and making it easier to be a part of our community culture, whatever you want to describe it as, I think is a great thing. So I hope you keep up the good work, and I'm excited to hear what you're able to do. And I definitely am going to look up more into this just to see what's going on, see where I can help.
Thank you. Mr. Crandall?
Oh, I'd like to thank Blessings in a Backpack for all they do, and that's it.
All right.
Can't think of anything else.
Okay. Ms. Linda?
Welcome, Santina, right? Yes. Miss Cunningham. Welcome aboard. I hope you have a good role model here, and I hope that you know that you could come to any of us at any time with any concerns, and we feel the same with you, and we really hope that you bring the students' voices to us, because that's why we're here. We want to hear from you. So thank you for volunteering your time and getting involved with us. It'll be fun. Blessings in a Backpack, we do something similar in our district, and it's true, like you see the kids coming down the hallways with their bags, and it's just a wonderful program. And having this information and just looking through it really quick, it's just, you can sponsor a student. Like there's so many things going on, and you read like on Facebook and things like that, like the white envelope in a tree. Like you give to this SPCA and you give to other organizations. I would never until this meeting have thought you can sponsor a child for $125 a year. And so I just think that's really cool, and definitely be talking and talking them up and getting the message out, because it is a wonderful thing that they do. So I'm very thankful for that. That's it.
Ms. Caballero?
I welcome Santina. Nothing really.
The short, quick meeting, and everybody has pretty much touched base on everything. I am impressed every year that they come with the Blessings in the Backpack and the expansion that they've done, and just to hear all they're doing for our kids. I mean, especially this time of year when, some of us, might not think about, like you said, that you could sponsor a child, and that there are those who are a little less fortunate that, this is perfect for us to be able to do that, to give back to our students and our community. So I really am appreciative. Welcome to our board. Most meetings won't be this short, so don't get too excited. But sometimes we try to move it in that direction. Because you and Harper have all the homework to get caught up on.
Yeah, I've never been to a meeting this short. I really have not.
Neither have we.
Thank you very much.
Big reports for the last two meetings.
That's right. That's right.
Hours long. Right?
Yeah.
It's very true. I hope that everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Entering in, I'm not a big fan of this time of year because that weather is horrible. So those of you who are driving south of here, be careful because it was not great. I know that you guys dodged a bullet today with not having to use a snow day, but some of the districts in the county did, so.
Yes, they did. Mother Nature was good to Fulton. It stayed to the north for the most part. It came through quickly. So.
And I just want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. We do not have anybody that was signed up for first public forum. Would anybody like to speak at our second public forum? Alrighty then, we're going to go ahead and move on to action 9.01, our adjournment.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 5-0-0. Everybody have a great evening and please drive safe.
Tim, I'm gonna bring you home. So I can get my follow-up. What happened, Tim? Yeah, I'll bring you home.